Good evening everybody, and those of you who are joining us online. This meeting will be live streamed through the Council's Facebook page. Persons attending will be captured on film except that when seated in the public seating area with the exclusion of the first row. Any speech may be picked up and broadcast. A fire alarm drill is not planned. In the event that the alarm sounds, please make your way out of the building using either staircase and make your way to the meeting point in Red Line Yard, where you are asked to wait till further instructions. Councillors are reminded that to avoid the risk of being seen as predetermined or biased, they should consider all debate prior to deciding on how to vote on items of business. Urgent items for information only, can be brought to the attention of the Council at the discretion of the chairperson at the end of the meeting. No decision can be taken on items not detailed on the published agenda. Please ensure all our mobile phones are switched off or put onto silent. And now we'll go into the meeting. So, number one, apologies for absence.
Councillors Holt and Coleman, both for illness.
Okay, can I have a proposal? Councillor Tolley, seconded by Councillor Cummings, all in favour? Everybody? Cool.
Oh, and I haven't heard anything from Councillor Richards.
Okay. Declarations of interest to receive disclosures of interest from councillors on matters to be considered at the meeting. The disclosure shall include the nature of the interest. If a member becomes aware during the course of the meeting of an interest that has not been disclosed, they must do so immediately. Anybody got any declarations? Nope. Okay. Public participation. Unfortunately, we don't have any public in this evening. Do we have anything on email? No questions. Okay. Members' questions. Anybody got any questions that they'd like to come into the meeting at the minute? No. Oh, Councillor Cummings.
I did contact Emma and sorry, forgot your name. Forgot it. It's not good. Something that I picked up on Carnival Night and was mentioned to me while I was at Carnival Night, and then someone raised it the other day to me as a see whether I chased it up about volume of people coming into the Charter Hall for the PTA on Carnival Night. Sometimes there's so many people in there coming in. Concerns were raised about whether how do they manage the fire if there was to be a fire or an incident in there. It's very difficult to get in and out. People are just forcing their way through. It's just something I think as a council we should be aware of. It's not something that we should raise a concern, but it's something that we need to look at and how it's managed better.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we're going to. Did you mean Edwardian evening with the PTA?
Carnival, Edwardian evening.
Yeah, yeah, we did talk about it after we spoke with you. But so the procedure when anybody hires the room, when we let them in, we run through a checklist of pointing out where the fire exits are and general procedures, ensuring they keep all those exit routes clear, pointing out where the muster points are, and explaining, reiterating, because they would have had it in terms and conditions anyway, what the capacity of the room is, which for standing only maximum is 250. So they've signed, whoever the hirer is has signed for that. So in that sense, it would be the hirer that is liable rather than us, but obviously actually a point of view of keeping people safe, that 250 limit is less than what regulations would allow as well, so we're kind of already reducing it to hopefully keep people safer.
Just through the chair, it was just an observation. There was several of us trying to get in to see what was going on. We wanted to watch the music at the front end. We all gave up in the end. Right, trying to get in there was an absolute nightmare, and there was people forcing themselves into the place and stopping people from coming out. And that was the observation. I understand what we're supposed to do and everything, but I think it's something that we need to highlight to them that there is an issue, because it's not the first time that I've experienced it.
It is, and it is raised with them. They are told.
Yeah.
Unless we actually have a member of staff there regulating it, which isn't possible, especially on a night like Edwardian evening, because we're all busy elsewhere.
think one of the concerns as well, because I went in as well, was that that it's a mixture of everything. There's like seated area, but then there's loads and loads of tables, and so then it was the pushing around the tables. And I think what the clog was as well was that when you were trying to get down to the bottom table and go round and come back, because there was people sitting and then standing to watch what was going on the stage, it was just, there was lots going on all at the same time. And so it might just be something that we look at with the organisers, just the making sure that they're thinking about that, and because essentially yes, they're liable, but then recognising the risks if something were to happen or there was an emergency and somebody needed to rush in or rush out. So it might just be something that we kind of look at. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or anything anybody wants to bring up? No. Okay, so number 5, minutes. To confirm, approve and sign the minutes of the property committee meeting held on the 6th of October. So do I have a...
I made an error there. We'd already done the 6th of October, so it was actually the later ones, whatever dates they were. You can either agree them or, but they're not on the agenda, so it'd probably be better to defer them till the next meeting.
Okay, no problem. Can defer.
Yeah.
Okay, point 6, facility hire bookings. So note the summary of the bookings for February, March and April of this year. So you will have that on your meeting report, just a list of all the people who are booking. It's really great to look down, I think, just to see the eclecticness of everybody who uses the hall. So it's nice to see. Councillor Yelland?
On the bottom of the second page it talks about the registrar event and then going down. I'm assuming that's in here rather than the Charter Hall. Yeah, so we've got registrar events. Yeah,
Yeah, those are in here.
yeah, that's fine. I was particularly looking at sort of like Saturday between 12 and 1, but you can take that. Okay.
Anybody else got any comments or questions? Okay. Point 7, Charter Hall. 7.1, alcohol sales. To note, the following applications to sell alcohol under the premises licence have been approved by the facilities officer in consultation with either the committee chairperson or vice chairperson since the last meeting of the committee. So that's the Rotary Club for a fundraising event in February of this year. And then finally 7.2, the Charter Hall roof replacement. To note that the snagging has been signed off and the final invoice awaited.
At long last.
So there we go. That was a long time coming. Perfect. Okay, point 8. 8.1, fire, all other locations. So fire audit, kitchen and other improvements. To note the report that quotations will be considered within part 2. So we can do that in the next part. And 8.2, energy performance audit. A free energy performance audit was conducted by Tamar Energy on the 27th of January, waiting recommendation. That's good that it was free. Perfect. So when are we likely to have the recommendations? Do you know, Rosie?
Not sure, they didn't give any time scale, but it's more of an indicative thing rather than a full assessment. It's not like a legally binding anything, it's just kind of pointers for us and some
Perfect,
ideas.
Yeah. Good. Okay, point 9, historical items. To receive an update from myself regarding the display of historical mayors at the annual council meeting, mayor choosing event in May. So one of the things I've been talking about, as you know, is all the historical artefacts and everything that we have upstairs, which would be really good to bring out into the open, into the public. And so having discussed that with the team, what's doable is that on the mayor choosing time that we bring down all the photos, pictures that we have of the previous mayors from the time that they began right through, and have them all displayed on the walls. And also we'll be looking for little bios of what that mayor perhaps did during their time, maybe points of interest. And so if people know of anything that they would like to attribute, especially to more recent mayors, I guess, then I know historically we've got quite a lot of information from different historians within the local area, but we'll be starting pulling all that together. And so as we do that, then we'll be pulling on people. But if people do have specific things that they'd like to bring forward, or if you're a mayor yourself and you have got something that you would like to have as written, that this is what was happening while I was mayor, that'd be really great to have just as a point of interest. So my thoughts were that we were going to start with this, and then there's so much other information that we have that after the mayor choosing, then we'd start thinking about other projects and rollouts we could do to bring down the historical information that we have. That's just of interest and of note that we can, and how we can display that and do it in an imaginative way. So that's the plan. So if anybody is interested, would like to be part of that, or have got some information, then please let me know. Cool. Okay. Point 10. Approved contractor scheme. To note, the scheme is open for applications. Do you want to kind of expand on that?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, basically we've had a lot of interest actually. I've put it out on Facebook, on our Facebook page and some of the local groups, and shared it with the bid as well to kind of send out through their channels. And we've had a lot of inquiries, mostly the sort of the trades you would expect, like, you know, construction, maintenance, plumbers, electricians, fencers, stuff like that. We have had a few slightly odd, you know, less thought of ones. I did have a guy get in touch about whether we would be interested in kind of design work and that kind of stuff, whether we'd be having a wider scope for approved people that can help with, you know, architect-y kind of stuff and extra stuff like that. So yeah, we're at the process of sending out forms to interested parties, getting some completed and back in already, and then we'll be compiling it all as a directory of local organisations, what they can do, and making sure we've got all their paperwork and everything so they can hit the ground running if we need them to in emergencies, and contact details and everything of people we can call on with bigger projects and we need to get quotes and that kind of thing.
Great.
So it's been a positive thing so far.
Great. Thanks, Rosie. Anybody got any questions or comments on that? No? Okay, committee terms of reference. To consider the terms of reference for the 2026-27 mayor year and make recommendation to full council for consideration at the next appropriate meeting. So that is in your meeting note, is it? Yes.
It is. I did think there's probably another item to add on to the list of responsibilities. It was agreed last year that property would also look after the roofed structures in the park. So we probably ought to add that to the list.
Councillor Cummins.
I'm not sure who's responsible, but who's responsible for the fishy boy on Westbridge?
That's not ours.
No. Just wondered who was responsible for it.
I don't know. Doesn't belong to the council.
I know somebody weeds around him every now and again. Just that when it looks overgrown, then the next time I look, it's weeded. So somebody's doing that job. Okay, so does anybody, having looked through the committee terms of reference, does anybody have any questions or comments upon what's being put forward? Councillor Cummins?
I propose that we accept it and move
Okay.
forward.
Seconded by Councillor Official. All in favour? That's everybody. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, so finances, payment scheme. So if everybody have a look at the payments that we are going out, and if there's any questions, then we can use them now.
That's proposed.
Okay, proposed by Councillor Fisher. Anybody would like second? Councillor McNeill. Okay, all in favour? That's everybody. Thank you. And then point 13, members' reports. So we're just going to work through. We've got 7 different reports to hear back from. So if we start at 13.1, which is the Dartmoor Railway Association, so that's yourself, Councillor Fisher. What would you like to tell us about that?
Okay, I had a meeting with DRA a couple of weeks ago. These are just little points. The model railway is now open on Wednesdays, so if you haven't seen it, you should, because it's absolutely fantastic. It's a railway of Oakhampton, and you've seen it here. It really is very good, so see that. Finally, the footbridge has got the non-slip put on it, so that's all done. You probably know that Melbourne Viaduct is now Devon County Council, so they've taken it over. And can I ask the people to encourage groups around the town to ask them, DRA, to come and talk to them, because they're very keen to do that, but they're quite busy people, and they don't go out to the community, but they do a heck of a lot of work. I've had them in a wheel recently. It was a really good presentation, it's worth it. And finally, if I can get it right, yes, I did especially put it on the screen. That is our new train.
And then you
It's gone, is it?
Kind of.
Need to swap it or something.
Yeah, I took them all off. That is 115. We're getting them about May, which are really good. So they're all in. They've already started in Waterways in Devon, but anyway, we're getting them apparently in May, and there's more seating, so there's more room. So that's my report. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Councillor Fisher. Any questions? Any comments? No? Okay, so on to the next one, which is Devon Communities Together, as Councillor Leach.
Yeah, no meetings, but literally late this afternoon, up-to-date newsletter came to me, which I forwarded to the clerk, so hopefully you'll all get it.
Thank you.
It's been forwarded.
Perfect. Okay, so the next one's myself with the Museum of Dartmoor Life. So we had a trustees meeting last Friday, and it's just, I find it really exciting being part of that trustee group. I mean, I don't think I come and offer much. I'm just, I come as a town councillor, but there's so much information and history and knowledge around the table. And we just recently acquired an extra trustee, and he has a huge amount of background knowledge and experience. And what's really great is that the group of people are very keen to raise grants and funding to make sure that the building is brought up to spec, because there's a lot of work that needs done there. There's a lot of leaks and damage and damp and everything. But with the amount of expertise around the table, I'm in no doubt that that will happen, and they will manage to secure the grants that they need to make sure that the buildings have a good in good order. And Christy, the manager, she does a fantastic job at all the different things that she's gotten on. Like, she does lots of different displays and does lots of changes. So every time somebody goes in, there's something new there, so people can go visiting again and again. There's always something new on display, but also the workshops that they do and the different people that they get coming in just to doing lots of things about the history of Dartmoor and that kind of thing. It's really great. So I think one of the biggest things that they struggle with is just people in the local area going. I think they have quite a lot of visits from the outside area because people come as a tourist and want to go to a museum, but the actual locals, I don't think they get much footfall from locals, and so they are always thinking, how can we entice more people in, how can we be a bigger presence in Oakhampton town. And so I suppose as town councillors, if we've got a group of people who are saying, well, what could we do, what kind of day visit could we go, we'll push them towards the museum, because I think the cost of going in, it's £5 to go in, but that then ticket will get you in for the rest of the year. So it's £5 for the year, so it's not expensive. So yeah, so I just encourage everybody to get going there. But it was really a lively and exciting meeting, so thank you for that. 30.4, the North Dartmoor Search and Rescue Team, that's Councillor Coleman, but unfortunately he's not here this evening. Then we've got 13.5, Oakhampton Carnival Committee, Councillor Fisher.
I'm not actually the rep now. Councillor Weeks is the rep, but I have spoken to them since you allowed me to resign and go somewhere, do something else. And they've got their AGM next week, and everything's on track as much as you can be. There is a problem with whether there's going to be children this year. They are still debating that, I'm afraid.
Okay, and point 6, Oakhampton Hospital North Dartmoor Health Initiative, that's Councillor Coleman, unfortunately he's not here. And then the last one is point 7, is Transition Town Oakhampton, Councillor Cummings.
Transition Town, we had a meeting prior to Christmas and just after Christmas, and we've got some new people involved with different aspects, and we've decided to streamline a lot of the projects that we've been trying to get off the ground because we can't get the support. we looked at a community-driven shop for where there should be a retail shop down on the new estates. Try and get that off the ground. We had 60, 70 people respond to our survey, but no one came to any of the meetings to say that they'd take it on. So we've had to shelve that for the time being. But other projects that are going and still running well. The one success that's really picking up is the repair cafe. Once a month. That's started very small. We've got more repairers and we've got more people coming in and taking advantage of it. So it's turning out to be quite a good thing. I have spoken to some of the contacts about what the council are talking about asset transfer for the smaller plots of land for people that I know are interested in managing those sort of areas and stuff like that. But I've not had a proper conversation with them to find out what they want and to explain what's going on to them properly. But it's out there. But yeah, and there's a seed swap at the can't think of the name of the place, the Eco Hub at the college in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, things keep moving.
Cool. Where is the repair cafe? Is that
It's at the church all across the
Church.
way. I think it's the third Saturday.
perfect? Great. Cool.
Can I raise an
Yes.
urgent item, please,
Yes, you
before
can.
we go on?
Excuse me, Chairman, I'm going to vote. Just got a question for Councillor
Yeah.
Cummings. Actually, it was about the repair cafe. It was, I was going to ask where it was, but how do people pay a fee to entry fee, or do they pay per item they take in, or how does that actually work?
I'll be totally honest with you. I don't know how the repair works, but no, there's no fee to get in there. There's tea and coffee served. The other week we did bacon sandwiches and sausage sandwiches. The repairs, most of them are done free of charge. Right? I don't think there's a charge, unless someone's going in with something that's really complex, but I think it's free of charge. But
Okay, so just if I made even things like materials and things like that, or they're donated, or
if they need materials, then obviously we'd ask the people to bring that in and do it and stuff like that. But doing the general repairs, turning trousers up and stuff like that, I don't think they charge for that.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
no, I just
I'll
wondering.
find out.
I was going to say it might be helpful for people to kind of know how it works. It might be putting some people off going in, thinking that they may be, there's going to be a fee, or or how it works. Quite helpful to perhaps to know in the public domain how it actually is, practicalities of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
We've had a couple of leaks in all the wind and rain that we've had. We haven't had any before, we haven't had any since. So I think it was just probably the force of the wind and the rain and the direction. One was in the bay window there, and it was coming down quite heavily, according to Paul, who put a bucket under it, which has since been wet. And one was back by the over the lift boiler room again, where the slating is on the side of the wall. The wall was damp again. It's the first time all through the summer. It's been fine until last week, and I think it's been, it's going to take a while to dry out, but I think it's been dry again since. So whether you want to look into them, or whether I don't know.
Is that something that we could ask to get assessed, and Councillor Leach?
Yeah, for this one here, at all, could be used to get it. Okay, but if you know anyone who's got a license to fly a drone, that's the best way to find out. I know one person.
I know.
Who might be interested.
We are also going to need access lifting equipment for the new CCTV camera in the next few weeks, unless we can get somebody to use that at the same time, possibly.
Okay. So do we go on, Councillor Leach?
In common with that, if you've got a closer footpath, then you've got to go for that. You've got to close the road. Whereas a drone can literally take a photograph, you can analyse it from there.
Okay. Do you need to have a proposal to move forward with that?
You can't because it's not on the agenda. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
sort of
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe for the next time, then we like make a point, and then we can decide what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about the slated wall with the water getting behind, so if it's a bit close to it, it sounds like the flashing at the bottom's gone.
We've had
So-
that replaced 2 or 3 times in the last few years.
There
Since
must
I've
be
been
another
here.
reason that's doing it.
We've had that reslated, that wall.
Yeah.
We do it, looking.
And we need to check it, because if the wall behind is getting damp and it's filtering down, it's going to cause more damage.
Well, there is inside anyway from before where we haven't repaired it yet, but
Maybe we need to get someone that's a specialist at looking at that sort of stuff to have a look at it.
we will. I was just letting you know.
Okay.
You're going to do that anyway. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Thanks.
we will look at it.
Great.
Perfect. Okay. So I guess that's us moving into part 2 now. So
I suppose we go to part
we
2.
can. And second it. And all in favour? Perfect.
Bear with me a second while I switch off the.
Shall I read through to part 2?